I've noticed that there's a significant lack of Kydex Sheath extension pieces on the market. There's a few custom makers out there who make versions of it, and some leather makers out there too. But there are certain things lacking about their products that forced me to come up with my own design. I needed something that was inexpensive and also highly versatile. This is a Kydex extension piece that I make. That it works as a drop sheath extension. The screws can be removed and you can string cord between the detachable leather belt loop and the Kydex extension piece such that you can have it as a drop loop style. It is angle adjustable. This one's pretty long. If you are holding it down here with only a short extension piece, the blade will tend to bow away from your side when you're wearing it. So I needed mine to be a little bit longer. It still has leather belt loop for comfort. I don't have any snaps on here, so you will have to just take off your belt and loop it through, but it can accommodate a 2-inch belt. And a couple of washers on here so that it fits. It is not sheath specific, it is not knife model specific. This extension piece is made to fit any Kydex sheath that has holes drilled at 3/4 inch on center. 3/4 inch on center is the distance for a large size Tek-lok. Now if you don't like the leather belt loop and you prefer to have something like a Tek-lok on there, a little bit fancier, maybe a little more secure for you or easier on off, as I mentioned before, it is Tek-lok compatible. You can see how it screws in 3/4 inch on center holes. You could shift this over to a little bit further this way if you want. You could raise it up, lower it down. This is set on the high screws here. You could also take it off of here, mount it down here if you want, and then you could bring this even lower so that this is adjustable with the Tek-lok at all 3 of these heights and also 2 different height settings here. So that makes it extremely versatile in terms of the height that you want to have it set at. This is showing the extension piece mounted onto a Kydex sheath. You can see where the screws are attached on one side. You can have it adjusted such that it'll hang at an angle on your belt. But you can see how it hangs. This is if you just wanted it to be drop-down style. This is that same extension piece, or rather another one of it, that's mounted onto a sheath for a bussy muck, which has quite a curvy handle that doesn't fall straight in line with the blade. And again, this is a sheath that I didn't make, and this is a taco style sheath instead of pancake. But you can see how it screws into the holes, which are 3/4 inch on center, and I was able to rotate it a little bit and then tighten it down. Now it won't twist or bend off of that angle that I have it set at, so that the extension piece still holds it exactly the angle that I want it at. So you see the same piece can be used for many different knives and different sheaths. This one I have some cord that I've strung through it so that instead of having it be just a regular drop belt loop, which I can do just by tightening that up, it's also height adjustable such that it can hang down a little ways on my body. This is another of the same extension piece, same exact design. I'm just, measuring and cutting these out, mounted on the sheath of a GSO 10, a much larger knife than the last 2 I've shown. And again, I have a little bit of cord in here so I can have it hang down, and you can have it hang more or less depending on where you want the tip of the blade to fall on your leg or how you want it to be mounted, simply by using longer or shorter lengths of cord or tying the knots in different places. But this is again dangler style. And on this I've added a leg strap so that I can hold on to it better. This is a GSO 5.1 that I'm wearing attached to my side using the drop leg style, where I have it on a piece of cord. The belt loop is on a piece of cord. It simply attaches to the extension piece, and for my distance here, it puts the handle right where my pocket is, so that if I were reaching into my pocket for anything, this is also where the handle is. Makes it very easy to withdraw and use. I've shown that in another video. And replace in there. With that leg strap on there and the drop leg style, makes it very easy to use. And as you can see, it sits nicely against my side. If I undo this leg strap, you can see where it hangs freely and swings, that it holds high enough up here on the handle that it doesn't really want to bend away from my body at all. It holds quite tight, and it hangs as low as I want it to, and it's completely adjustable by simply using a longer or shorter length of cord. Now if I want it just to be drop belt style, all I did was tighten the cord now, and I can tie a little knot on it, and you can see where it would be drop style, where it sits just a little higher on my hip, or it can drop a little bit lower. And this is just to show you the GSO 5.1 mounted a little bit higher still. You can see from this that I've got the belt loop hooked on the lower level of the Kydex, so there's a little lip here. I could have set it the other way with the loop on this side so that it would be even tighter to my body, but I like having it a little distance from my body. But you can see it does not want to bend away, really. It holds nice and tight there with this, just those two screws. And so that way I can have it this high, and because of the way the GSO 5.1 has these slots on it, so I could line those up anywhere along here and be able to raise and lower where the extension piece mounts. So you can go from a high belt to a drop belt to a drop loop carry and adjust however you want. And not just on the GSO 5.1, the same piece will work on just about any knife sheath that is drilled with 3/4 inch on-center holes, compatible with the Tek-lok. Now let's say for some reason you wanted your knife mounted, instead of vertical straight down your side, you'd rather have it be horizontal or at some sort of angle. Once again, this is not only height adjustable, but it's also angle adjustable. So if you wanted it cross-draw on your other side, you can shift it around. You could also set it perfectly vertical, or you could set it perfectly horizontal if you wanted. Again, just by adjusting where the screws attach to the inside of that sheath. So you can see the extension piece is adaptable for height, is adaptable for angle, and the same piece will work on just about any knife sheath you get. This is what you get in the package, is you get the leather belt loop. It is riveted construction, doesn't come apart, but it does detach, it's detachable. You get the mounting hardware, which is the 4 screws with their pillars. You also get a couple of these rubber spacers. And I'll throw in a little 8-inch length of paracord that you can loop through in order to create a drop loop setup. A 3-foot lightweight polypropylene leg strap that has side release buckle attachment and a little slider on it to retain any extra bits of strap. So you have everything you need for a full setup that can go from just standard hip carry to a drop belt carry to a drop loop carry with all the security that you need. I'm fairly confident that this might be just the best design out there on the market. It isn't the prettiest. The leather usually just comes from old belts that I cut up. The Kydex is double layered. Doesn't have the best polish on it, so you'll be able to still see the seam. I guess I could sand that down a bit more, but honestly, I'm trying to keep these inexpensive, so I try to do as little work on them as I can. Just, do the measurements, drill the holes, put in the eyelets, polish the edges a little bit, and get it in a box and ready to go for someone. So if you have any interest in it, just check the comments below. I'll include my email address. You can just drop me a line, and we'll see if I can get you one.